Hello, everyone. Good morning. A very warm welcome to all of you all present here, students, parents, our beloved SSEI team members who are here on their off day, and everyone who's joining us online, in fact. Let me first introduce myself to you guys so that you don't think who is this person standing over here and talking to us. My name is Kavya. I'm one of the youngest employees at SSEI right now. And honestly, I'm standing here today because I was just like one of you sitting over here. I met Sir close to a year back at one of exactly like events like these. And you might ask what I was doing over there. I was absolutely confused about what I need to do with my career. I am not from a finance background, like remotely not even related to it. And I was pretty confused as to what should I do after my college, what should be the ideal career for me. And that is exactly when I met Sanjay Saraf Sir. I He mentored very honestly. I'm not from a finance background, but he taught me what the ideal pathway for a person should be like. And today I get to work alongside him, learn from him every single day. So when I look at all of you sitting over here in the hall, I genuinely see myself not from a very long time ago. So whatever confusion you're carrying today, you might be feeling anxious. What should you do after class 12? What should you do when you are in college? And trust me, it's all okay. The confusion is absolutely normal and you're in the right room. Now, I want to acknowledge something. It's a Sunday. You could be sleeping. You could be binge watching Netflix as well. You could be catching up with your friends in a cafe, but you chose to be here. And that shows intent. That says a really lot about you because not everyone shows up on a Sunday for their career even after their board exams are over. Honestly, I wouldn't. पेरेंट्स आपका तो लेवल ही अलग है मतलब बोर्ड्स खत्म नहीं हुआ बच्चे को उठा के बैठा दिया एक और सेमिनार पे दैट टू ऑन अ संडे मॉर्निंग सो kudos to you the parent supervision never stops. Jokes aside, you showed up today. That means you've already started preparing for a battle. The battle is half done when you show up. So please give a huge round of applause for all of you all present here. And this one is for everyone joining us online. You're not just watching. Thank you for being a part of this equally. Our academic team, our counseling team, everyone has joined us online and they'll be replying to your questions, your Q&As, whatever you have in the chat. Whatever questions you have related to courses, careers, what should you do, drop it in the Q&A tab and our counselors, our academic team will pick it up from there. For the really interesting ones, we have two special guests who will be answering them personally. So don't hold back, use the chat. Now, before we start, especially for the offline people, I want all of you all to stand up. Please. पीछे में मुझे दो जन बैठे हुए दिख रहे हैं. Yeah, you've stood up now. Thank you. For the online folks also, everyone who's in their couch, who's in their bed, watching it with their earphones, please stand up. Okay. Now, raise your right hand. You were just going to raise your left hand, by the way. Your mom gave you a side eye. Now your left hand. Did I say move your right hand down? Both your hands. Wave at me. Turn this side. Did I say which side? Right side. On your left side. Perfect. That's a Sunday afternoon workout that I wanted you all to do. Because this, what I just gave you a warm up. And this warm up is needed because our tuitions, any tuitions that you do in finance would be very long. So slumping won't be allowed and Sir hates that. So everyone who has joined us offline, we have given you a booklet or a file. Can you please hold that up for me? Everyone has received it. If there is someone who hasn't received it, please raise your hand as well. Everyone, I see SSEI team also, so great, kudos. This booklet is a career, we have something called a career navigator, a career compass of sorts. And in that, we have pages wherein we have broken down all finance career paths for you. We also have some blank pages for you to write your dream, write your story, your individual story. And when I say your individual story, I don't want कि आपके मम्मी पापा को चाहिए आप CA बनो तो आप वो लिख दो. but what you truly want to do. Write that down and we'll break it down in the session forward. For online people, I know you have FOMO. You should have been here, but since you're not, we will be sending you this copy post the session. So watch out for that. Now, before I begin, I know a lot of you all might be here for the first time. So let me tell you about where you are today. And more importantly, how this place came to be who it is right now. Over 30 years ago, a young man from Calcutta started teaching in a small rented room. No brand, no marketing, no fancy infrastructure, just a blackboard, few students, and 75 rupees. That's it, 75 rupees. He didn't have investors. He didn't even have connections. He just had one thing, and that was that finance should be taught with depth and not shortcuts. That students deserve to understand what they're actually studying and not memorize answers and clear papers. That small room, it became SSEI, Sanjay Saraf Educational Institute. 75 rupees और एक blackboard से शुरू हुआ था ये. आज over 10 lakh students have been trained by SSEI, India's #1 finance education platform. CA, CFA, FRM, ACCA, Analyst, you name it, we have it. यहाँ पे पढ़ाई नहीं होती, यहाँ पे कॉन्सेप्ट्स आपके अंदर इनग्रेन किए जाते हैं. स्टूडेंट्स अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड, अक्रॉस द कंट्री आर कनेक्टेड विद अस. आज जो इंडिया के टॉप इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक्स, टॉप फाइनेंस फर्म्स, टॉप कंसल्टिंग फर्म्स में बैठे हैं ना, all of these people have been associated with SSEI and are grateful for it. एक पूरी जनरेशन है जो सर की वजह से आज टॉप फाइनेंस कंपनीज में है. So when I say you are in the right room, trust me, I mean it, and I have been a part of this. This is a legacy, and you're a part of it today. Now, before we move ahead, there's a short intro video that captures what SSEI is all about. Please pay attention to this one. It will set context for everything that follows after it. Now, before we move ahead, before we move actually to the main session and we call the hero of the show, I want to understand who all are sitting with us here today, both online and offline, so that we can tailor this session exactly according to your needs. And the best way to do that is a very quick interactive poll. What I would want everyone to do is please take out your phones. There's a QR code on our screens. Please scan that. And for people joining us online, we're dropping a link in the chat for the same. It'll be very quick. Parents and students अलग अलग करेंगे. अब तो class 12 के बाद बच्चों को phone मिल जाता है. So before we move on to like the final one, and I know you guys will kill me for this because I've been delaying this, but let's move to my favorite part, a quiz time. And this is not a boring quiz जहां अगर आपको आंसर नहीं आता है तो मम्मी पापा से डांट पड़ेगी, but a fun quiz which if you win you will get prize worth up to 10,000 rupees. Yes, 10,000. And the good part over here is we have different winners for online as well as offline people. So we'll have 3 offline winners and 3 online winners. Can we have the quiz for the offline people first? Online people, even if you answer this, we'll not be looking at it. We'll close the chat. So don't answer. Don't make it easier for the offline people. You won't get the prize any which ways. Let me have the questions. Great. Let's have the quiz questions. Wait. So the first question, the topic of the first question, this is not the question. Don't try to decode it. The topic of the first question is the hot topic that goes on in every family at evening, IPL. So let's have the question. Who became the most expensive uncapped player with a 25 crore bid in IPL 2026? Raise of hands. Yes, you can come on stage. You can have this.
Cameron Green.
Can we have the answer? Perfect. We'll move on to the next one. Next wala answer mat karna. Let give others also chance. Her mother is so happy. Okay. The second question is something that a lot of Gen Zs will relate to because it's their favorite drink. I can speak for myself, it is mine. Seats are numbered from T1 to T50. I'm sitting at T17 and you're at T39. This is the context. I'll repeat again. Seats are numbered from T1 till T50. I am sitting at T17 and you are at T39. Question? If I pass a drink to you seat by seat, how many people does it pass through? I repeat, if I pass a drink seat by seat, how many people does it pass through? You, come here, come on stage. Mm-hmm. 21. Can we have the answer? Great. We have a lot of smart people in the room. Okay. The third question, and this is the final question for offline people. This is your chance. Do or die. Can we have the question? Guess the personality. We'll show you a picture and you'll have to tell us which personality that is. Number one. Wait. Pause. This picture has both Sanjay Saraf Sir and the personality. You're not allowed to guess Sanjay Saraf Sir and tell me that he's the personality. Let's have the picture. Who's this? उनको मिल गया चांस तब मैं उनको दूंगी. Ramesh Damani. Correct. We had the privilege at SSEI to meet Ramesh Damani sir at our 30-year celebration in Mumbai. That was something phenomenal, and the insights from that conversation is something that I carry with me till date. So that's about it. Now we move on to the online people. Online people, ekdam, keep your phones ready, keep your typing speed at peak. We'll have to open the chat for this one. Can we have the Zoom chat? You cannot raise your hand or answer right now. I will not consider that until I read out the question. Can we open the chat? Okay. Can we move it a little to the side so that I can read the question? Perfect. Did you know? Listen to the full question before you answer. Maharashtra आ गया किसी का question भी नहीं सुना answer दे दिया. India is the world's largest producer of mangoes. Yet its share in the global mango export is surprisingly low. Move on to the actual question now. Which country is the largest exporter of mangoes in the world? I got a Mexico. Who was the one answering? Like, oh my God, this is going to be chaotic. Yes. What is the name? Simran Puri, you got this. So a round of applause for you. Just बच्चे ने महाराष्ट्र बोला है. Reconsider your board exam scores, please. Okay, we move on to the next question. This is the context of the question. We've conferred something streaming. Netflix के बारे में है ये. Now it's time to take over something bigger. Studios thought they were untouchable. Cute. Let's move on to the question. Which big Hollywood production company, did Netflix recently planned on acquiring? Planned. In the chat. Can we go down on the chat? I got the answer over there. Krishna? Is it Krishna? Congratulations, Krishna. You won this one. Can we have the next question? This is the final question for everyone joining in. So again, this is do or die. या तो ये मिलेगा या फिर हाथ से जाएगा आपका. Again, price worth up to 10,000, and I'm not kidding, or this is not a clickbait over here. Okay. In most cases, banks pay you interest, but in some economies, it works the other way around. This is the context of the question. Can we have the question? Which country is known for having a negative policy interest rate? ऑफलाइन पीपल ऑनलाइन वाले नहीं बोले थे ना जब आपका चांस था, तो आप क्यों कर रहे हो? Yes, we have an answer over there. Shivani, congratulations, Shivani, and that brings us to the end of our final round, our quiz. This is the final time pass that I do with you guys before we move on to the actual session that you are here for. The parents would be very annoyed with me otherwise. Okay, all right, everyone. This is the moment that you have been waiting for. I told you the story earlier, 75 rupees, a small room, a blackboard, but I didn't tell you about the man. Ask any CA student in the country. Name one finance educator. Ask any CFA aspirant. Ask any finance professional, in fact, fresher से लेके CFO तक. एक नाम है जो हर बार आएगा. You know what separates a teacher from a legend? A teacher gives you the answer. A legend changes how you think. And this man, he didn't just teach finance. He changed what it meant to learn finance in India permanently. These are the people sitting in boardrooms today in Mumbai, in London, in New York, who will tell you that the reason they are there is because one person believed in them before anyone else did. One person sat them down, broke down concepts until they didn't just pass, till they understood. And that understanding became their career. I can say this because I'm one of them. I was there over there. I walked into an event as a confused college student with zero financial background. Today, I work alongside him. That is not a coaching class. That is a life change. वो इंसान आज यहाँ पे है, इसी स्टेज पे है, और आपके लिए, आपके करियर के लिए, आपके फ्यूचर के लिए. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up, put your hands together, and give the loudest welcome in this room for none other than Sanjay Saraf Sir.
So very good morning to all of you. All the attendees sitting in front of me, as well as all the online students in this digital economy. Let me assure you that at least SSEI as an organization does not discriminate between the offline and the online. Quite often, when I visit various places, recently I was in Indore, and these students who have been studying with me for 600, 700 hours, they were so amazed. Sorry, sound is okay. Even the parents of the students tend to do our classes along with the students. They tend to feel that ये 300, 500, 600 hours student क्या सुन रहे हैं, कैसे सुन पा रहे हैं, ठीक है? Let us also experience, and I have seen that many of the parents have themselves joined some of our courses. So because it's all related to financial markets and what is happening in the economy, it's practical and it's a wonderful field. So welcome all of you. The focus of this program is on Finance Career Utsav. And I will acknowledge with all humbleness that I have devoted my entire life into this stream, from people who are youngsters coming out of class 12 to people who are more aged than me and working in the best of companies. And I've seen careers shaping. The only thing that I keep on aspiring for and putting my energy into it is that we do not want our kids, our children, to be thinking about approaching mediocrity. If I take a step back and just share with you what all of us know, but perhaps I'm articulating it, the British Raj, the 300 years or 350 years of torture that we went through, that had a huge impact on us because they basically designed our education system in such a manner that you are not supposed to think. मतलब thinking का काम आपका नहीं है, आप केवल काम करो. You are supposed to do like a labor. So we were not allowed, we were asked not to apply our intellect, our thinking, our thought process, our judgment. And उससे survival तो हो जाता है. People are able to survive. There's a certain type of life they achieve. But when they look back, they feel that they could have done much more. But at least the young generation, that's an aspirational India. Even the parents, they could see reasonably well as to what was happening during their time. And this is a totally changed time. And hence, it becomes necessary to understand one thing, that only if you are being creative, applying judgment, then only you can differentiate in this competitive world. If you are doing something which is repetitive and monotonous and clerical, those case you will not like the life 10 years ahead. Okay, you will repent, why did I take this path? As elders, as parents who are there, they need to understand this first of all, so as to guide their kids, to guide their relatives that way. What do I mean to say? I mean that suppose a person does a certain qualification and he or she receives the first job, say a 12 lakh package. We call it the 1 lakh trap, ki mahine ka 1 lakh. And the job is in a branded company, say a multinational company. You're all excited as a family. You tend to share the happiness with your relatives कि भाई बच्चे का यहाँ पे जॉब लगा है. And as time passes, after 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, you find that the entire happiness goes down because life is monotonous, mundane. Okay, you just have to see that since you are appearing in the office at a certain time, that is why you are getting paid for it. It's not that you are contributing anything productively. There are so many types of this profession that I have seen that I cannot explain, that people are really, really pained after 5 years, 7 years, and now they're in a juncture where they want to switch their roles. Switchers आजकल ज़्यादा हो गए as compared to youngsters. People who are in their early 30s, 35, even 38, 40, they want to switch their role. It's happening in the commerce stream, it's happening in the engineering stream. दोनों ही stream में ये हो रहा है. So therefore, अगर किसी को लगता है ना कि हमको पता है यार finance commerce का क्या तो जानना है, I think it's a big myth. आपको शायद उतना पता नहीं और पता होना चाहिए. When we look at our kids, every kid is unique. And he or she has in himself or herself to achieve a certain potential. अपने वो देखे बिना, we just push the kid towards something that we have experienced in our life. कि मैंने देखा है ये फलाना बंदा बहुत बढ़िया करता था, इनका यहाँ पे ऑफिस है, they used to do well. But I think we need to look beyond the same. आजकल के डेट पे the roles or the qualifications that you look for should be number one, global. एंड नंबर 2 स्ट्रैटेजिक. नंबर 1 ग्लोबल, नंबर 2 स्ट्रैटेजिक. ये दोनों वर्ड्स क्लियरली समझ में आ रहे होंगे कि अगर आप ग्लोबल क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं करते हो तो दो प्रॉब्लम है. नंबर 1, द रेट एट विच द ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी इज मूविंग, आपका जो नॉलेज है वो उसके 5 years, 3 years, 7 years पीछे रहेगा. So therefore there would be always a lag in terms of how much you know. I've experienced it firsthand. And the second is that in case you have opportunities from multinational companies, from global capability centers, GCCs, from multi-million hedge funds, they will not be even inviting you on the other side of the table for an interview. Okay, because they know that that grooming has not been done. So we are wanting to be very well grounded in our Indian philosophy and culture, but at the same time absorb whatever is happening abroad. कोई भी स्टूडेंट जो आज के दिन केवल बीकॉम कर रहा है या बीबीए कर रहा है, वो स्टूडेंट का रिसेप्टिविटी इन द इंडस्ट्री इज वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट. एक्सेप्शंस आर देयर, मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. ऐसे भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो लोग चैंपियंस हैं एंड दे डू जस्ट देयर बीकॉम और द बीबीए and they are accepted by the industry, but those are like 0.001%. Why should we talk about those outliers? But otherwise, a general BCom, a general BBA will tend to realize after 3-4 years that मैंने क्या किया, ये 4 साल प्रेशियस मैंने वेस्ट कर दिए. ये टाइम था दो चीज अक्वायर करने का. नंबर 1 सर्टिफिकेशन, नंबर 2 स्किल्स. सर्टिफिकेशन एंड स्किल्स. अपने टाइम पे when I was at your age, graduating from, coming out of class 12, I was not aware of many things. So I had to taste everything and then decide कि ये मेरे लिए है कि नहीं है. होता है ना, इतना बड़ा बुफे लगा हुआ है. You tend to go over there, taste something, and if it suits you, then you have it, otherwise leave it. So that is the approach which I applied in my life. But I think अभी इतना सारा exposure है, knowledge है कि you need to be very clear about what do you want to do. As SSEI, we are not a Me Too organization कि हम भी हैं या we recommend everything. We are very, very clear in our research. We carry out primary research. We look at our alumni. We ask them कि भाई क्या चीज का demand चल रहा है. What do you think we should advise youngsters? And आज सुबह, early morning, I had a message from New York from Sumer Bajaj, who is the executive director Morgan Stanley. He studied with me way back in 2008. भवानीपुर कॉलेज से किए थे. असम के स्टूडेंट है. क्लास 12 के बाद ही ज्वाइन भवानीपुर कॉलेज एंड ही डिड FRM एंड CFA विथ मी 2008 में. एंड दैट गाय टेक्सटेड मी कि भैया वी हैव अ ओपनिंग इन द मुंबई ऑफिस मॉर्गन स्टैनली, ओके, फॉर द रिस्क एनालिटिक्स जॉब. जिनको बैंकिंग का बेसिल रेगुलेशंस होता है वो अच्छे से आता है और जिनको उसमें अपना करियर बनाना है. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट FRM, फाइनेंशियल रिस्क मैनेजमेंट. FRM एक ऐसा प्रोग्राम है जो कि 1 साल में कंप्लीट हो जाता है, 1 year, एंड विच इज वेरी वेरी हटके इन द सेंस. अपने जब रिटेल लेवल पे नॉर्मली व्हेन वी थिंक अबाउट बैंक्स, व्हाट डू वी सी? बैंक में गए, देयर आर सम रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर्स, okay, there is a branch manager, okay, we have to have some products, there are some sales people who sell insurance and other products. This is what a retail idea of a bank is. But if you look at a deeper level, एक बैंक में कितने हाइट्स का रिस्क मैनेजमेंट चल रहा है, बिकॉज अपने सबका पैसा बैंक के पास है. इट इज लेंडिंग इट आउट, इट्स इन्वेस्टिंग इन द मार्केट. सच अ बिग डिग्री ऑफ रिस्क इज गोइंग ऑन, रेगुलेटेड बाय RBI. तो दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोग्राम इज, फॉर एग्जांपल, FRM, फाइनेंशियल रिस्क मैनेजमेंट. 1 साल लगता है प्रोग्राम कंप्लीट करने में, कोई 1.5 साल लगाते हैं, दैट्स फाइन, अच्छे से करें. बट इट मेक्स अ स्टुपेंडस करियर इन द एरिया ऑफ रिस्क मैनेजमेंट. आजकल तो बैंकिंग इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट चालू हो गई है जहां पे आप MBA भी कर सकते हैं इन रिस्क मैनेजमेंट. तो दैट्स वन पर्टिकुलर थिंग. मेरे को याद आया क्योंकि आज सुबह मेरे को एक मैसेज आया. तो वन इज द FRM प्रोग्राम, फाइनेंशियल रिस्क मैनेजमेंट. छोटा प्रोग्राम है, 1-1.5 साल का प्रोग्राम है, ठीक है, एंड वेरी वेरी एक्सेप्टेबल. ऑन द अदर साइड यू हैव द चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी प्रोग्राम, CA, जो कि सभी जानते हैं. फॉर दैट मैटर, सबसे पहले मैं डिस्क्लेमर दे दूं कि आई एम नॉट अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट. ठीक है, मैंने CA नहीं किया, कंप्लीट नहीं किया, टेस्ट करके छोड़ दिया. क्योंकि उसका जो कंटेंट था, या वो बोलते ना, वो जो टेस्ट था वो मेरे को भाया नहीं. आई डिड नॉट लाइक इट. आई थॉट दैट इट्स नॉट फॉर मी. बट हैविंग सेड दैट, आई हैव taught the highest number of chartered accountants on this planet, not being a CA. And that goes to show the intelligence of the masses, कि पूरे CA community accepted me in one particular subject which is related to finance, okay, not the accounts and commerce part. तो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी के बारे में सब जानते हैं. जिनका भी बिजनेसेस है उनको पता है कि उनको टैक्सेशन करना है, उनको ऑडिटिंग करवानी है, उनको रिपोर्टिंग करनी है. अकॉर्डिंगली वी नो ऑफ सो मेनी नेबरहुड में चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स हैं जो लोग कहीं जॉब कर रहे हैं, अपना फर्म चला रहे हैं. सो देयरफॉर पेरेंट्स के लेवल पे तुरंत क्या ध्यान आता है, यार सीए करने से कम ये स्टेबल हो जाएगा, ये काम कर लेगा, इसकी लाइफ संभल जाएगी. ये मानना है और ये सही भी है. आई वुड अग्री, इट इज नॉट रॉन्ग. बट अगर आप ठीक से देखें तो सीए इंस्टीट्यूट ने ग्लोबल टेक्सचर और स्ट्रेटेजिक लेवल पोजीशनिंग अपना बनाया ही नहीं. उनका जो मटेरियल है, उनका सब्सटेंस है, हमेशा अधूरा रह गया. सच दैट अगर सर्वाइवल की बात करें तो सीए इज अ गुड प्रोग्राम टू डू. बट अगर बात करें ग्लोबल स्टैचर की, स्ट्रैटेजिक लेवल की, पोजिशनिंग की, एस्पिरेशन की, तो मेरे को लगता है मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स हु विल गो इनटू द सीए प्रोफेशन, दे विल अल्टीमेटली रियलाइज दैट केवल इससे नहीं होगा. ओके, ये खुद में अधूरा है. वंस अगेन एक्सेप्शंस आर देयर एवरीवेयर. तो मेरे को लगता है कि सीए में डोमेस्टिक अपील है, ग्लोबल अपील नहीं है, स्ट्रैटेजिक अपील नहीं है. कैसे समझाऊं? अभी इंदौर में एक स्टूडेंट से मिला जो 28 ईयर्स ओल्ड है, और ये स्टूडेंट सीए इंटरमीडिएट के एक ग्रुप की वजह से 5 साल से सीए इंटर दिया. 5 साल माने 6 महीना करके 10 टर्म. देर आर टू वेज ऑफ लुकिंग एट इट. एक एग्जाम देने में क्या लगा? 2,000 रुपया. दैट्स वन वे कि एग्जामिनेशन का तो केवल 2,000 ही लग रहा है, तो क्या हर्ज है? आई कंसिडर द स्टेटमेंट टू बी सो फुलिश. 6 month इज लाइक हैवॉक नाउअडेज. 6 महीने में तो आप दुनिया को रिक्रिएट कर सकते हैं, और 6 महीने 6 महीने 6 महीने 6 महीने उस बंदे का अंदर से जो कॉन्फिडेंस है, उसके जो मुंह में चमक है, वो सारी की सारी चली जाती है जब वो रिजल्ट निकलता है और आदमी फेल होता है. एंड फेल होने का कारण केवल ये नहीं है कि शायद वो ठीक से पढ़ा नहीं था वगैरह. फेल होने का कारण ये है कि ये लोग का कंटेंट ठीक से डिजाइन नहीं है. इनकी बुक्स अभी भी क्वेश्चनेबल है. आप इमेजिन करोगे, सी इज द ओनली प्रोग्राम आज के दिन जिसमें जो मल्टीपल चॉइस आते हैं, वो मल्टीपल चॉइस में जो आंसर है उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं दिया हुआ. इट्स लाइक 1 का बी, 2 का सी, 3 का ए, 4 का डी. बट वाई डी? वाई नॉट एबीसी? नॉट रिटन. आई एम अमेज्ड बिकॉज हम लोग तो इतने सारे कोर्सेज कराते हैं, वी हैव नॉट सीन एक सिंगल कोर्स जिसमें मल्टीपल चॉइस आंसर्स का एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं है. इसका मतलब स्टूडेंट को चाह रहे क्या हो? वो केवल 1 का ए, 2 का बी, 3 का सी बैठा ले. अगर रॉन्ग है तो उसको बोला जाता है रॉन्ग बैठा के जाओ, बिकॉज इंस्टीट्यूट यही आंसर मानेगी. आई एम टेलिंग यू द फैक्ट्स. ठीक है, विद ऑल दिस थिंग. तो जो मटेरियल अच्छा नहीं है, एग्जामिनेशन कंडक्ट ठीक से नहीं होता है, पेपर्स ठीक से नहीं आते हैं, करेक्ट वैसे ही होता है जैसे अपने इमेजिन करते हैं ना, कोई बस में चलते हुए करेक्ट कर रहा है, ठीक है, बंदे को 120 रुपए मिल रहे हैं करेक्ट करने के. तो उस तरह का स्टेटस हो रखा है. आई विल रिपीट, सीए ने अपने कंट्री में कॉमर्स प्रोफेशन को एक अलग लेवल पे ले गया है. देयर आर सो मेनी फैमिलीज हु हैव मेड अ फॉर्च्यून एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ सीए. बट आने वाले टाइम पे कोई भी जो सीए करेगा, उसका मैं एक चीज गारंटी करता हूँ, वो बाद में ये कंक्लूड करेगा कि केवल इससे तो नहीं होगा. ये बात श्योर है. ठीक है. अगर अपने थोड़ा सा कैलकाटा का टर्मिनोलॉजी से बात करें तो इट्स लाइक यू आर वांटिंग योर किड टू लर्न अ कार. गाड़ी चलाना सीखना है, तो इन दैट केस आप बच्चे को बोल रहे हैं कलाकार स्ट्रीट में जाके तुम गाड़ी चलाना सीखो. ओके, तो इन दैट केस क्यों वो कलाकार स्ट्रीट में जाके गाड़ी चलाना सीखेगा व्हेन ही कैन स्टडी और वेन ही कैन लर्न टू ड्राइव अ कार इन विक्टोरिया. ठीक है. So the point is that asking the person to do CA is like telling him that nahi, you go to Bada Bazaar, you go to that place and you drive the car over there, because that way, the way you will learn, okay, जो आपका चरित्र निर्माण होगा, okay, वो अलग ही लेवल का होगा. So, but I don't know, हर सिटी में बड़ा बाजार टाइप के होते ही एमजी रोड बाजार बड़ा बाजार हो, तो इवन अदर्स हु आर आउटसाइड कैलकाटा विल अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आई एम सेइंग। तो मैं सीए के अगेंस्ट में नहीं हूं, पर मैं केवल सीए के अगेंस्ट में हूं। मेरे को लगता है जो लोग केवल चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी करते हैं, उनका जो इतना एफर्ट लगता है, कितना एफर्ट समझा नहीं सकता हूं। इफ यू आस्क मी विच इज द टफेस्ट प्रोग्राम इन कॉमर्स फील्ड ग्लोबली, आई वुड से इट इज चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी। एंड नॉट बिकॉज इट इज टफ सब्सटेंस वाइज, कि अंदर में उसका मैटर टफ है, कुछ अल्फा बीटा गामा स्टफ लिखा हुआ है, कुछ नहीं है। जो अंदर का स्टफ है वो गलत तरह से ऑर्गेनाइज्ड है, वो गंदे तरह से ऑर्गेनाइज्ड है, गंदे तरह से फ्रेम्ड है, और अपने बच्चे उसको सफर करते हैं। ठीक है, तो अगर सीए करें तो ध्यान रखिए सीए के साथ यार और कुछ करना पड़ेगा अपने को। तो सीए सर्वाइवल इंश्योर कर लिया, और एस्पिरेशन के लिए वी हैव टू प्लग समथिंग विद इट। ठीक है, सीए से रिलेटेड क्वालिफिकेशन है एसीसीए। एसीसीए क्वालिफिकेशन बहुत अग्रेसिवली ग्लोबली एज वेल एज इंडिया में पॉपुलर हो रहा है। बट इफ यू आस्क मी पर्सनली कि सर, when you were tasting all these stuff, which dish or which particular program you like the best? And that program is the CFA program, the Chartered Financial Analyst, CFA. ये प्रोग्राम का बेस्ट पार्ट क्या है कि इसमें देर इज नो मग अप, अपने को कुछ लर्न नहीं करना पड़ेगा। देर इज नो अल्फा बीटा गामा मैथ्स, अपने को मैथमेटिकल इक्वेशन सॉल्व नहीं करना पड़ेगा। What is there in this program? Common sense. It's made up of common sense in such a manner that you are able to look at each business और कौन से बिजनेस में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए। अपने सब जन यहाँ बैठे हैं जो वो लोग म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट करते होंगे, ठीक है, कुछ HNI क्राउड है तो दे मस्ट बी इन्वेस्टिंग इन PMS, पोर्टफोलियो मैनेजमेंट स्कीम, AIF। पीपल आर इन्वेस्टिंग इन फॉरेन फंड्स। ये सारे के सारे जो अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स एंड ऑल का बात करते हैं, इनमें जो पैसा संभाल रहा है ना, द वन हु इज डिसाइडिंग आपका पैसा किस कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट करना है, दैट इज द CFA गाय। तो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट CFA, सबसे पहले अंडरस्टैंड वेयर आर यू लुकिंग एट योर सेल्फ आफ्टर डूइंग CFA। यू विल बी एनालाइजिंग कंपनीज जिनके स्टॉक्स में, जिनके बॉन्ड्स में अपने को इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए। You will be working in the best of funds, which means whatever names you always hear of, the likes of JP Morgan, okay, the likes of Morgan Stanley, the likes of multi-family offices or family offices in India like the Rakesh Jhunjhunwala office, उन सब offices में you will be an investment analyst, a research analyst. Quality of life is superb. क्यों? Because markets are open Monday to Friday. तो your working hours are Monday to Friday. उसके अलावा you keep a track of the economy, industry. अपने जब टेलीविजन देखते हैं बिजनेस न्यूज, तो बिजनेस न्यूज में कभी डेबिट क्रेडिट का बात सुना है क्या? You never heard about debit credit. You always heard about what's happening in the economy. ठीक है, what is RBI going to do, इंटरेस्ट रेट वाइज क्या होने वाला है, कौन सा सेक्टर बढ़िया करने वाला है, स्टॉक चार्ट्स होते हैं, वो वाले फील्ड का अपने बात कर रहे हैं। यानी जो पेरेंट्स है वो इमेजिन करें कि काश अपना किड, अपना बच्चा जिसको अपने 5 7 10 साल बाद देखते हैं, he is coming on television for the purpose of talking about the economy, industry and company. He is the one who is managing corpus of 1 lakh crores. Okay, it's a different field altogether. He's working in McKinsey, he's working in the BCGs, he is doing investment banking job. तो ये वाला जो साइड है ना, ये कई बार फाइनेंस से छूट ही जाता है और लगता है कि फाइनेंस का मतलब केवल अकाउंटेंसी है, ऑडिट है, टैक्सेशन है, जबकि ये तो बैक एंडेड रोल्स है। जो फ्रंट एंडेड रोल्स है वो इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग है, कंसल्टेंसी है, इन्वेस्टमेंट मैनेजमेंट है, विच मीन्स that the word about which you should research later is investment management. The word is investment management. कौन ऐसा है जो इन्वेस्टमेंट मैनेजमेंट को छुएगा नहीं अपने लाइफ में? इम्पॉसिबल है। लेट्स टॉक डिफरेंट क्राउड्स। सपोज कोई पर्सन है जो कि डॉक्टर या लॉयर या इंजीनियर बनने वाला है, क्या वो पर्सन अपना पर्सनल फाइनेंस को इन्वेस्ट नहीं करेगा? क्या पूछ के इन्वेस्ट करेगा? या वो विक्टोरिया में वॉक करते हैं ना, भाई जी कौन सा स्टॉक बढ़िया चल रहा है, क्या आपने उस तरह से इन्वेस्ट करेंगे? बाय रूमर्स, वी वुड लाइक टू डिग इनटू द स्टॉक एंड स्टडी इट आवरसेल्फ ना. So in that case, that person also needs knowledge of finance, and therefore they are doing, engineers are doing CFA. Okay. People from history honors, literature honors, they are doing CFA because they know that this is how businesses run. If you talk about, suppose कोई यहाँ पे है जो कि belong करता है to a business family and they feel that सर मेरे को जॉब करना नहीं है, मेरे को अपने फादर का बिजनेस करना है, तो do you think CFA is in it for me? 100% yes. Because you have a capital allocation decision to make. कि आपके कंपनी का पैसा जो उसको एलोकेट कैसे करना है, कौन से स्ट्रीम में करना है, वो कैपिटल एलोकेशन डिसीजन सीएफए सिखाएगा. आपके फाइनेंसेस कैसे मैनेज करने हैं वो सीएफए सिखाएगा. दोज वन इन प्योर फाइनेंस, उनको तो सीएफए का रिक्वायरमेंट होगा ही. लाइन से आजकल बॉम्बे में जितने भी चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स हैं या जो सीए कर रहे हैं फाइनल, वो लोग साथ में अब सीएफए परस्यू कर रहे हैं बिकॉज वो लोग को रियलाइज हुआ कि यार सीएफए के बिना तो होगा नहीं. जितने भी लोग एमबीए करने जा रहे हैं फाइनेंस में, एमबीए या मास्टर्स इन एमएससी इन फाइनेंस, दे आर ऑल परस्यूइंग सीएफए. मतलब सीएफए का एक कल्ट चल पड़ा है. व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड माय टीचिंग करियर आफ्टर क्लास 12 इनटू सीएफए, इन दैट केस सीएफए के बारे में किसी को पता नहीं था. एंड हुआ क्या, देयर इज अ क्राउड ऑफ 10, उनको सीएफए करवाया, दे पास्ड, दे टोल्ड देयर रिलेटिव्स, they became inclined to it, and accordingly there was a horde created where people started doing CFA. But the CFA Institute has always been very, very careful of demand supply. I respect the institute for the same. वो लोग नहीं चाहते कभी भी कि डिमांड कम और सप्लाई ज्यादा हो जाए. ठीक है, इसलिए उन्होंने रिस्ट्रिक्शन लाया है. वो लोग इस तरह से एडवर्टाइज नहीं करते हैं सीएफए के लिए, एंड ओनली आफ्टर इयर्स ऑफ appealing them, they have agreed that 2024 से CFA is allowed after class 12. वरना CFA class 12 के बाद allowed ही नहीं था, वो allowed था फाइनल ईयर ऑफ ग्रेजुएशन से. और अभी क्लास 12 के बाद CFA अलाउड हुआ है. 2024 पहला साल था, और जो बच्चे 2024 पे क्लास 12 के बाद ज्वाइन किए वो नवंबर 2025 में अपना फर्स्ट लेवल कंप्लीट किए हैं. ठीक है, एंड नाउ दे आर इन द सेकंड लेवल. तो आप लोग ये देखेंगे कि 2-3 सालों में कैलकाटा एंड अदर सिटीज में there will be a number of people who would be doing CFA, and then उनको देख के people will then flock towards this program. But I think होता है ना कि who is the early starter, कौन पहले से इस फील्ड को समझ जाता है, एंड वो अपना, मैंने आप जो भी अपने बच्चे के बारे में सोचते हैं ना, काश उसका लाइफ ऐसा हो जिसमें वो बहुत अर्न करे, बहुत खुश रहे, बैलेंस्ड लाइफ हो, हमें उसका शक्ल देखने को मिले, वी आर एबल टू सी हर फेस एंड स्माइलिंग फेस ऑल द टाइम. दिस इज द प्रोग्राम. You will not find a frown on her face or his face. You will find a smile on his face. कि इसको तो मजा आ रहा है, ये पढ़ाई कर रहा भी है क्या? क्योंकि ये इतना कॉमन सेंस का चीज करता रहेगा प्रैक्टिकल कि he will be in a different zone altogether. Okay. On the dinner table there will be discussion about the fact that बेटा बताओ कौन सा स्टॉक लेना है. ठीक है, where you are asking your kid about which particular stock should we invest and why should we invest. Having said that, एक चीज बता दो इन सब प्रोग्राम्स के बारे में. CA, ACCA, CFA, FRM, इन सब प्रोग्राम्स में अगर 1000 बच्चे करते हैं, उनमें से 50 या 100 बच्चों का करियर बहुत बढ़िया बनता है, और बाकी 900 का करियर बनता है पर मीडियोकर रहता है. If 1000 people do a CFA or a CA, 50 will do it very deeply. The other 950 or 900 would achieve survival, but they would feel that पता नहीं यार वो नहीं हुआ जो हम लोग चाह रहे थे, बिकॉज इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन उन्होंने कितने शिद्दत से कितना डीपली किया प्रोग्राम को. मेरा केवल एक ही पर्पस होता है पढ़ाते समय कि काश मैं उस 50-100 के क्राउड को 150, 200, 250 पे ले जा पाऊं. वी टीच वेरी वेरी डीपली. दैट्स आवर प्लस, दैट्स आवर माइनस. पढ़ाते समय शर्माते नहीं है, कोई किताब नहीं खोलते पढ़ाते समय, कोई पीपीटी नहीं चलता है पढ़ाते समय. आई हैव नेवर टॉट विद द हेल्प ऑफ पीपीटी. वी जस्ट डिस्कस इट इंटरैक्टिवली. क्लास में स्टूडेंट को क्या चाहिए, काश सर के साथ इंटरैक्शन हो सके, काश क्लास के बाद सर से बातचीत हो सके, काश अपना डाउट्स पूछ सके, काश मोटिवेशन मिल सके, काश गाइडेंस मिल सके, काश प्लानिंग मिल सके, काश पूरे करियर का एक बार में we can expect that यार यहाँ पे आ गए तो in that case career बन गया. So that is the system or the profiling that I am having. Okay, shouldn't say and can't say that much, but education obviously is a very big business wherein it's just a question of completing formalities, making the people join a course. Let me just share a joke. आपको समझ में आएगा मैं क्या बोलने चाह रहा हूँ. तो there was a student who was telling me that उसका friend CA कर रहा था, वो CFA कर रहा था, and जो CA वाला friend है वो उसको बोला, तुम लोग को पता है यार हम लोग के CA में ना इतना ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम है कि हम लोग को रोज सुबह मोटिवेशन लेक्चर सुनना पड़ता है किसी न किसी का. देख हम कितने जन का मोटिवेशन लेक्चर अपने फोन पे कर रखा है. रोज सुबह मोटिवेशन लेक्चर सुनते हैं, अब जाके बॉडी खड़ा होता है, देन वी स्टार्ट वर्किंग. तो CFA वाला गाय बोलता है तुम एकदम सही बोला, हम लोग को मोटिवेशन लेक्चर सुनना नहीं पड़ता है, कारण कि हम लोग CFA इंस्टीट्यूट का जब फीस देते हैं ना, बस as soon as we pay fees for the CFA इंस्टीट्यूट, हर तरह का मोटिवेशन अपने अभी पता नहीं कहां से मॉलिक्यूल एटम बॉडी में आ जाते हैं. ठीक है. सो CFA प्रोग्राम का एक पर्टिकुलर मेंटल हिंड्रेंस क्या है कि CFA प्रोग्राम जो है वो कॉस्टली है. दैट्स द टैग दैट वी अटैच टू इट. कि सीए करेंगे यार तो सीए इंस्टीट्यूट को 20-30 हजार देने पड़ेंगे, एग्जामिनेशन फीस 3,000 रहेगी. ठीक है. CFA करेंगे तो अपने को इंस्टीट्यूट को 1,40,000 देना पड़ेगा पर लेवल का. ठीक है. एंड एक बार में हो जाएगा ना. ठीक है, वैसा वाला. हाउएवर अभी जो मैं देख रहा हूँ मेरे क्लासेस में, मतलब कांट एक्सप्लेन, एक छोटा सा विलेज का लड़का है बंगाल में. ओके, मालदा से आ रहा है. ठीक है. दे are finding it difficult to meet their ends, and that particular guy is coming to do CFA, and I can take names over here. That guy is Animesh Nandi. मेरे को याद है ये पक्का, ये बंदा मैथ्स ऑनर्स किया था, इंग्लिश ठीक से आती नहीं है बिकॉज फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज इंग्लिश था नहीं, finds difficulty, and this guy completes CFA. Now he is in CFA level 2 doing skill based program जिसके बारे में बोलूंगा. तो मतलब एक अलग टाइप का भारत ओरिजिनेट कर रहा है जो समझ चुका है कि यार ये जो 1.5 लाख 2 लाख 3 लाख का बात करते हैं अपने एजुकेशन में, इस टाइप का खर्चा तो होगा ही. वी लुक एट द एक्सप्लिसिट कॉस्ट, वी डोंट लुक एट द इम्प्लिसिट कॉस्ट. कि अगर बच्चा 6 महीने बाद फेल हो रहा है, नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ हिज गलती बट बिकॉज ऑफ द सिलेबस का मिस डिजाइनिंग, और उसके बाद जो उसका डिफिडेंस, उसका जो कॉन्फिडेंस लूज हुआ, आई थिंक दैट्स अ लॉस फॉर अ सेंचुरी. And that's a very big loss. How can we look at just that amount in explicit terms? I think the opportunity cost is much bigger in many of the so-called cheaper programs. काफी सारे पेरेंट्स यहाँ पे आए हुए हैं, याद करेंगे. There was a time in the 1980s, 90s जहाँ पे हर स्टूडेंट करता था CA CS कॉस्टिंग, ऐसे ट्रिपल क्राउन माना जाता था. CA CS कॉस्टिंग, that used to be done. Over time, people have realized that CS और कॉस्टिंग तो मोटा मोटी ड्रॉप हो गया, with no disrespect meant towards them, but CA is still there, and I acknowledge it is there, it will be there, but people need to move ahead and people need to plan their child's career properly. मैं केवल एक चीज बोलूंगा कि अगर आप चाहते हैं ना कि आपका बच्चा खुश रहे, एट द सेम टाइम अचीव करे, मस्ती से पढ़े, एंजॉय करते हुए पढ़े, 3-4 साल में अपने पैरों पे पूरी तरह से खड़ा हो जाए एंड ग्रोथ ओरिएंटेड हो, द वन प्रोग्राम विच आई सॉलिडली एडवाइज इज द CFA प्रोग्राम. CFA में अपने अकाउंट्स नहीं है, हम लोग अकाउंटेंट नहीं है, क्योंकि हम अकाउंट्स करना भी नहीं चाहते. हम चाहते हैं अकाउंट्स कोई और कर दे हमारे लिए. हम एनालिसिस करते हैं, चार्टर्ड फाइनेंशियल एनालिस्ट. When we say CA, it is a chartered accountant. You can understand the difference over there. Accountancy is a backward looking profession. जो decisions हो गए उनको रिकॉर्ड करना. Analysis is a forward looking forecasting exercise. ठीक है, कि फ्यूचर में क्या डिसीजन लेना. और एक अंतर है, बताना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इतनी सारी कंपनीज है, इतनी सारी कंपनीज. ओके, यू टॉक अबाउट रिलायंस, यू टॉक अबाउट इस्पात, यू टॉक अबाउट सेल, यू टॉक अबाउट PSUs. उन कंपनीज में 2 तरह का करियर बन सकता है. पहला, ऑन द इनसाइड, कि काश मेरे को रिलायंस के अंदर जॉब मिल जाए और मैं उस कंपनी के अंदर काम करूं. दैट्स वन वे. द अदर वे इज दैट मैं बाहर खड़ा हूं, मैं 5,000 कंपनीज को देख रहा हूं और इन कंपनीज में से कौन सी बेस्ट है उसमें क्लाइंट का पैसा लगा रहा हूं. So one is the inside view, the other is the outside view. CFA program is the outside view. You are an investment manager looking at these companies from the outside, meeting their management and taking a bet that next 10 साल कौन सा स्टॉक बढ़िया करेगा. और सीए एसीसीए वाले ज्यादातर इनसाइड व्यू है, जो कंपनी के अंदर काम करना चाहते हैं, ओके, एंड क्रिएट वैल्यू इन द कंपनी. So you have a single focus in that and you have a multi-focus while doing CFA. So that's a very important observation that you should know about, okay, when you are thinking about the stuff. There's a very famous gentleman in India, बहुत जने नाम नहीं सुना होगा, maybe Manish Chokhani, okay. He was a chartered accountant. He did internal audit for 5-7 years. And then he said that I realized that what I am doing as audit over here of one company, if I step out and do investments in these companies, I can much better create value for my clients. Okay. So that was my initial submission regarding the certification program. Let me ask general common sense knowledge from you. Even the online people can answer. ये जो प्रोग्राम्स का बात की है, सीए, सीएफए, एफआरएम, एसीसीए, इन चारों प्रोग्राम्स में which program is of shortest duration? एफआरएम का सबसे शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन. Which program is of the longest duration? सीए का सबसे लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन है. ऑन एन एवरेज एम्पेरिकल एविडेंस, जीपीटी, AI search करेंगे, it will tell you on an average it will take 4.5 years to complete CA. ठीक है, on an average, तो 4 से 5 साल. ACCA and CFA both will fall in the zone of 2 to 3, 2 से 3 साल. However, CFA के बारे में बता दें, कोई भी जो CFA ज्वाइन करता है क्लास 12 के बाद, क्लास 12 के तुरंत बाद, वो अपने बीकॉम थर्ड ईयर तक लेवल 1 लेवल 2 दे पाएगा. बीकॉम थर्ड ईयर तक, और थर्ड ईयर की बीकॉम के बाद वो लेवल 3 दे पाएगा. ठीक है, फ्रॉम एन एलिजिबिलिटी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. पर कोई पर्सन जिसका क्लास 12 हो चुका है, वो फर्स्ट ईयर सेकेंड ईयर स्टूडेंट है, वो सीएफए को थोड़ा जल्दी कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं. जो क्लास 12 स्टूडेंट्स हैं उनको थोड़ा सा धीरे जाना पड़ेगा, और वो थोड़ा धीरे रिक्वायर्ड भी है, बिकॉज क्लास 11-12 में कितना तो अपने को मार्केट्स का समझ में आ गया और कितना समझा दिया. ठीक है, there's too much of narrow focus that is there in class 11-12 when it comes to commerce education, because of which I always feel, why do they teach it this way? ठीक है, it should have been in a different manner altogether, but whatever it is. So CFA प्रोग्राम जो है, अगर कोई क्लास 12 के बाद ज्वाइन करता है, जैसे अभी कहाँ खड़े अपने अप्रैल में, ठीक है, मई में खड़े मान लेते हैं, तो मई में तो वो लेवल 1 दे पाएगा नेक्स्ट ईयर अगस्त में, नेक्स्ट ईयर अगस्त 2027. फिर लेवल 2 दे पाएगा उसके नेक्स्ट ईयर 2028 में. ठीक है, फिर लेवल 3 जो है 2029 के एंड में या 30 के बिगिनिंग में, दैट में. तो 2029 एंड 2030 के बिगिनिंग में कंप्लीट होगा. एक और चीज बिफोर आई कम टू द एमबीए पार्ट इज दैट जो स्किल्स है, दे आर बिकमिंग वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. हमेशा से इंपॉर्टेंट था, अभी और ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो गया. जहां पे ऐसा हाल होता है कि मैं कुछ बोलने वाला था पर उसके पहले कुछ याद दिलाऊंगा. एक स्टोरी है एक स्टूडेंट की जिसने सीए में ऑल इंडिया रैंक 1 लाया था, AIR 1 फ्रॉम कैलकाटा. तो आई वॉज इंटरव्यूइंग द स्टूडेंट कि भाई फॉर इंस्पिरेशन टू अदर स्टूडेंट्स कि आपने कैसे पढ़ाई की कैसे नहीं. और उस स्टूडेंट ने एक बात बोली विच रियली स्टक मी नेगेटिवली. उसने क्या बोला कि मैं सर एक चीज को एक ही जगह से पढ़ता हूँ, 2-3 जगह से नहीं पढ़ता हूँ. आई स्टडी फ्रॉम वन प्लेस एंड इतने बार पढ़ता हूँ ना कि जब मैं एग्जाम में बैठता हूँ, मेरे को एग्जैक्टली पेज के किस साइड में लिखा हुआ था याद आ जाता है कि यार ये तो कोने में लिखा हुआ था. बस इतना प्रिसिशन है मेरी पढ़ाई में. दिस इज ट्रू ऑफ मेनी ऑफ अस और ऑल ऑफ अस सिटिंग ओवर हियर एंड ऑन ऑनलाइन, कि जहां पे हमने इस तरह से बैठ बैठ के रटा है, और ऐसे रटा है कि जब लिख के आते हैं ना तो याद आया था पेज के साइड लेफ्ट साइड में था. आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? इट इज ट्रू. इवन मम्मी लोग जब पूछती है, ठीक है, तो माय वाइफ इज सिटिंग ओवर हियर, व्हेन शी ऑफन आस्क फ्रॉम माय किड दैट हाँ बताओ तुम्हारा हो गया क्या, तो ही इज रीडिंग आउट, नहीं ये लाइन मिस हो गया. जब मम्मी लोग बोलती है ना तू ये लाइन कंप्लीट नहीं किया. नाउ दिस टाइप ऑफ स्टडी इज समथिंग दैट हैज बीन देयर इन इंडिया एंड इट्स अनफॉर्चुनेट. आपको एक विषय को 10 जगह से पढ़ना चाहिए, सच दैट इट बिकम्स अ फॉरेस्ट इन योर माइंड फ्रॉम अ नॉलेज पर्सपेक्टिव. You get different lens from which you understand that particular topic. And then you are able to expose it in real life. You can't be just mugging up stuff and reproducing in the exam to get marks. So when you sit before an interview, आप इंटरव्यू में सामने बैठते हैं ना, तो जो बंदा हायर करने वाला है, क्या आप उसको बोल पाएंगे कि आप जो पूछ रहे हैं मेरे वहां पे लिखा हुआ नहीं था? You can't say this. He is asking you executionable stuff, and people are mum. People are not able to say a single line. They have the qualification. CA या CFA CV में लिखा हुआ है, बट बैठने के बाद दिख रहा है कि ये बंदा अपने के लिए कुछ कर नहीं पाएगा. इसको बहुत ट्रेन करना पड़ेगा, और ट्रेन करने का समय है नहीं. Nobody is wishing to hire you. 6 month आपको ट्रेन करे और उसके बाद जाके आप छोड़ दें. Believe me, this is happening. They want ready-made person from day one. तो स्टडीज के साथ साथ आपको स्किल्स आने पड़ेंगे, एंड देयरफॉर इट इज नेसेसरी दैट जब आप ग्रेजुएशन करते हैं उसके साथ इंटर्नशिप्स करें. ओके, अपने जो पढ़ाई करें उसमें एक्सप्लोर करते हुए उस पढ़ाई का प्रैक्टिकल एप्लीकेशन देखें. मैं अभी पढ़ाना चालू नहीं कर रहा हूं तो आई कांट एक्सप्लेन, वरना हमारे क्लासेस में वी हैव मेड इट अ पॉइंट वॉट एवर वी आर टीचिंग दैट गॉट टू बी विद प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम्पल्स. केवल एग्जाम्पल पे एग्जाम्पल, ग्लोबल लोकल लेते जाने हैं, जिससे स्टूडेंट को समझ में आए और उसको पता चले जो मैं पढ़ रहा हूं वो थियरी नहीं है, वो प्रैक्टिकल है. यही तो हो रहा है. अगर अपने जियो पॉलिटिक्स का बात करें, इजराइल ईरान का जो हो रहा है, द सेम स्टफ इज देयर इन आवर करिकुलम बाय द नेम ऑफ अ चैप्टर कॉल्ड जियो पॉलिटिक्स. इफ यू टॉक अबाउट कंपनीज, तो कंपनीज के अंदर जो डिसीजन मेकिंग है उससे वैल्यू क्रिएट होगा, डिस्ट्रॉय होगा, वही तो क्लास में हो रहा है. एंड एक चीज जरूर बोलूंगा, ध्यान रखिएगा, and it's necessary to speak out. वो एक ऐड आता था ना, किसका आई डोंट रिमेम्बर, पहले इस्तेमाल करें फिर विश्वास करें. किसका? निर्मा. ओ ठीक, घड़ी. तो as let me use the word, but I shouldn't use the word, but still we have, as consumers, as potential consumers, there is so much of noise going on regarding people wanting to make you choose them as their learning partner. जैसे हम चाहते हैं आप हमें learning partner चुने, ठीक है, आपके बच्चे के या आपके जर्नी में. But the point is that चुनने का सबसे first criteria क्या हो गया? Let's hear him out. Hear him out, not this session which is, अभी मैं पढ़ा रहा थोड़ी हूँ. I am trying to explain you about courses. That's not my job. My job is to teach. Whatever I have taught, that is there on YouTube. मैंने मेरे 2-2 घंटे के लेक्चर्स YouTube पे हर विषय पे भरे पड़े हैं. Why don't you just open that lecture and listen? What will happen in case of others is that others के marketing videos भरे पड़े होंगे, but पढ़ाने के videos नहीं होंगे, क्योंकि वहां पता है जैसे ही पढ़ाएंगे डिफरेंस दिख जाएगा कि what is the difference. So you got to let your kid watch a few lectures and let him experience whether वो समझ पा रहा है क्या. When I say so, I remember there are a couple of people I met from Bihar, and उन्होंने जब मेरे लेक्चर सुने तो बोले सर यही चाहिए था, पूरा खुल के समझ में आ रहा था. And they did CFA. They are doing great in their business because CFA is not about English. It's not that मेरा English ऐसा है वैसा है. CFA is about substance. अंदर में जब कंपनी को चुनेंगे तो इंग्लिश से कंपनी बढ़िया नहीं मिलेगी. वो बढ़िया मिलेगी वो धंधा कैसा कर रही है, उसका मैट्रिक्स क्या है. सो रिक्वेस्ट यू ऑल कि ये जो अपने YouTube शॉर्ट्स से डिसाइड करने वाले हैं या इंस्टाग्राम से कि रिगार्डिंग विच पर्टिकुलर पर्सन इज अ बेटर टीचर, दैट इज अ रॉन्ग नोशन. द बेस्ट इज you listen to a teachable video, a content of 1-1.5 घंटे 2 घंटे, ठीक है, listen it out and see किस डेप्थ पे बंदे ने बोला है, क्या पैशन है, क्या प्रैक्टिकलिटी है, क्या नहीं है. ठीक है, मेरे लाइफ का प्रिंसिपल है, इफ यू हैव द एबिलिटी टू गो डीप, एंड डीप मीन्स डीप, यू विल क्रिएट एन इम्पैक्ट. बट इफ यू वांट टू रिमेन इन शैलो वाटर्स, आप ऊपर ऊपर से तैरना चाहते हैं, तो बिलीव मी आपको वो मोती मिलेगा नहीं. तो हम लोग डीप में जाते हैं और स्टूडेंट को डीप में लेके चलते हैं. कोई स्टूडेंट है जो बोलेगा डू यू टीच फॉर द मासेस और द क्लासेस, कि आप क्लास स्टूडेंट के लिए पढ़ाते हैं कि मास स्टूडेंट. आई बिलीव नो डिस्टिंक्शन. जो भी अब से क्लास 12 के बाद से पॉजिटिवली ओरिएंटेड है, ठीक है, वो पर्सन का लेवल कहां से कहां जाने का है. आपको कुछ नहीं सोचना है मैं 10 तक अच्छा नहीं पढ़ा था, 11 तक आई वाज नॉट सीरियस, नाउ आई एम सीरियस. इज इट पॉसिबल? 100% इट इज पॉसिबल. ठीक है? You have to start looking at finance in a different aspect, and we will take you there. Sometimes when we have seen life a lot, we feel that अपने को सब पता है, but people surprise us. So I would like to give you a different taste, ठीक है? In case I was a little bit boring in between, of a younger person who is now running shoulders with me in SSEI, Vidyut Kontia, who is our CEO, the Chief Executive Officer. He is not my student. वो मेरे से पढ़े हुए नहीं कुछ भी. He brings a diversity. He belongs to the startup economy because अपने जो बच्चे हैं वो बिजनेस करना चाहते हैं, ठीक है? He did none of the programs. कोई CA, CFA कुछ भी नहीं किया इन्होंने during his graduation in St. Xavier's. क्यों नहीं किया इन्होंने ये? और ये कैसे देखते हैं चीजों को, और किस टाइप का इंटरव्यूज होता है मैकेंसी के सामने जब आप बैठते हैं, तो व्हाट हैपेंस ओवर देयर? मतलब यू नीड टू लिसन टू हिम, बिलीव मी, बिकॉज I have been learning a lot from him for the last 1 year, okay, since we have been associated, and I think he will click the crowd. He will be able to touch you like nobody else, and able to just, you are listening to somebody in a very, very open manner. Okay, the startup economy person. Let's welcome Vidyut Konti.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I have a small request to make to all of you joining online and offline. I know Sir has shared with you all a lot of information on courses, CFA, CA, FRM, ACCA, Analyst Tag, multiple courses, and you guys must be overwhelmed right now. But I want a promise from all of you. Whoever is lying down on their bed, couch, sofa, having Coca-Cola while watching this session, I have seen that half the people in this hall are also slouching. People are getting tired. I really want your undivided attention for the next 10 minutes, because believe me, it has the potential to change the next 10 years of your life. I really want the 10 minutes from all of you undivided. And I am happy to take feedback if at the end you tell me that Vidyut, you wasted my time. I am going to change myself, but today give me these 10 minutes. Can I please have a loud cheer from the audience who is willing to give me the next 10 minutes of their lives? Okay, before we begin, I want everyone online and people who are here to raise their hands if you have been told at least once in your life कि बेटा फाइनेंस सीख लो बहुत काम आएगा. Okay, now please keep your hands up. Please everyone keep your hands up. Only those keep your hand up if you actually did something to learn finance. If not, please put your hands down. If you actually did something to learn finance, keep your hand up. There is no harm in putting it down. There is no reward for people who will continue to keep their hands up. I see half the hands have already gone down. See, this is the difference. Everybody knows that finance really matters, but nobody knows what to do in finance, especially at your age. Sanjay Saraf Sir came today. He spoke about the entire roadmap. He gave you what each certification means: CA, CFA, ACCA, FRM, multiple courses. He gave you the entire game plan, right? But I am not here to teach you about any certification program today. Why? क्योंकि ऑनेस्टली मैंने खुद भी कोई सर्टिफिकेशन नहीं की है, तो मैं उसके बारे में आपको पढ़ा नहीं सकता. But before I get into why I am here today, I need two volunteers, one from the audience here and one online. Can one of you please raise your hands and come up on stage? Anybody? Please. We will do a very short exercise over here on stage, and we'll get one person online to unmute themselves and also speak for 30 seconds. Please come down. Okay, hi Abhijit, good afternoon. I want you to immediately address the audience, and in the next 30 seconds, tell them who you are, where you're from, introduce yourself, and what is your goal in life.
Hello guys, I am Abhijit Shaw, Sir's past student, CA Intermediate Financial Management Economics and CFA L1 past student. I am currently in final year of graduation, BCom honors from Jaipur College. I have done my 12th from St. Stephen's School and born and brought up in Kolkata. That's it.
Thank you so much, Abhijit. A round of applause for Abhijit to have the courage to come up here and speak. Thank you. Kavya, who do we have online? Priya Banerjee, I request you to please unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the audience. Where you're from, which school, which college, what is it that you want to do in life? Quickly, can you unmute yourself and go? I asked both of them to introduce themselves and tell us what do they want to do in their life. I don't know what they want to do in their life. I still don't know. And that is the gap that I'm talking about. The gap between talent and everything else. What is everything else? The clarity, the depth, articulation, communication, how to enter into any room and win the room. That is what makes the difference. That is a gap that exists in today's time when we completely shoulder certifications, through and through certifications, but when we go to the interview room, we freeze. I have an anecdote. I was in 2015, I was in St. Xavier's second year, and a friend of mine got an AIR rank 1, CA Inter rank 1, and he was asked to share his journey in front of 60 people in the class, and he froze while introducing himself. He is not working at his dream organization today. He is not, even though he is an AIR 1 in CA Inter. That is the gap that I want to talk to you about today, and I need the next 10 minutes of yours completely undivided. Now, who am I? I am Vidyut. I am the CEO at Sanjay Saraf Educational Institute. I am not a CA. I am not a CFA. I am not an FRM. At the age of 22, right after college, I started working at Uber. For all the elders and parents know I was not a driver there. I get a lot from my elders कि बेटा गाड़ी चलाते थे क्या वहाँ? नहीं, I was not a driver there. After college, I cracked one of the most competitive hiring processes in the country. The tech boom was on, and I did something at the age of 22 that my friends did not even dare to. They did not even dare to dream about it. At the age of 28, I moved to Dubai. At the age of 28, I was making a 7-figure salary, a dream for most of us sitting over here. And believe me, at the age of 22 at Uber and at the age of 28 in Dubai, I was the youngest in both the organizations. Today, I run Sanjay Saraf Educational Institute alongside Sir. But today, I am here to tell you a story of 3 best childhood friends and where they made in life, what they are doing today, and how it will change your journey if you please stay with me for the next 10 minutes. Let's get into the story. Class 12 has ended. Board exams are over. We were 3 best friends. And by the way, this is a real story that I'm sharing. It's my story. These are 3 best friends. Friend number 1 is the certification friend. We will label him as a certification friend. He moved to Delhi, enrolled himself in Hansraj College, knowing that मेरे को कॉलेज जाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, मैं बैठ के कोर्सेज करूंगा. He did CA, he did CFA alongside. He was Sir's student. He secured an All India rank 23 in his CA exams and today is a CFA charter holder. While he was studying in his college, he missed out the college life, the societies, the clubs. Everybody was networking, building relations. Where was he? He was inside a room, completely drowned in books. We could not speak to that friend of ours 1 month before the exam because his mobile phone was switched off. He completely lost out on the life which was outside books. Where is he today? But he is working at the family office of late Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. Believe me, he is managing that kind of money at that table. It is a really, really big deal. That's about friend 1. Let's talk about friend number 2. We will call him a hybrid person who focused on skills as well as certifications. After class 12, he went to NUS in Singapore, one of the most sought after colleges to do economics. Thereafter, he joined as a consultant at Ernst & Young, one of the big 4 that we all know. But after some time, he came back to India and joined his family business in dry fruits manufacturing. It sounds random, right? But his exposure after coming back to India to some practical finance courses makes him a successful derivatives trader today. That is friend number 2. Now, who is this third person? It's me. I am a BCom from St. Xavier's College, Kolkata, and I have done 0 certifications. I invested my life, I took a bet on building skills, communication, relationship building, and networking. That helped me make my life at Uber and Swivel when I moved to Dubai, and the numbers that I was making in terms of money. A lot of people said that they want a fancy job at the Mentimeter pole. I was there, I did that. But all 3 of us, the certification friend, the hybrid friend who took a mix of skills as well as certification, and the third was me who bet on skills. All 3 of us made it to some decent point in life. So then where is the problem? Why am I sharing this with you? Believe me, I'm not here to share our success stories with you. I'll tell you where the problem was. All 3 of us took 10 years to be where we are today. It took us 10 years. We were driven, we were talented. Like all of you sitting over here and who've joined online are. You all are here on a Sunday afternoon, means you have the intent. You all are all class 12 pass outs. You all have made it without failing. You all have talent. You all are sharp just like we were. At our time, there was not a single person to sit us down and tell us that beta, certification and skills complement each other. जिस तरीके से बटर के बिना ब्रेड का मजा नहीं आता, गन्स में बुलेट के बिना गन नहीं चलता, उस हिसाब से सिर्फ सर्टिफिकेशन या सिर्फ स्किल से आप शायद सक्सेसफुल होगे, बट क्या आज के दिन किसी के पास भी 10-15 साल है इन्वेस्ट करने को? We want everything immediately. You need the deadly combination of skills and certification early. You need it early. Where was the gap among us? I sat in boardrooms of Uber where people were discussing revenue models, unit economics, financial modeling. I could follow the discussions, but I could never lead those discussions. My certification friend, he has all the technical know-how and theory that the world has to offer, but he spent years after that to build his communication skills, how to crack an interview, how to win a room, and which is why he is working at the family office of late Rakesh Jhunjhunwala today. We had not been told that this combination is going to be required when you sit at the interview table. We were not awarded or privileged with a complete stack. But what if you have the stack today? Can my team please pull up Analyst stack right now? And this is the stack that I'm going to talk about. The Analyst stack is a program that Sanjay Saraf Educational Institute has brought to you students that could make your structured practical finance foundation completely flip in 1 year instead of the 10 years that we took to build it. It has 4 modules. Please hear me very carefully. It has 4 modules. The first is using advanced Excel and financial modeling. The second is equity research. Believe me, when all of you equity research aspirants will sit in interviews, you all will be told randomly in a stressful environment, please talk about a sector you like in India for the next 5 minutes. Do not bore me. This is how the interviewer will intimidate you. Will you be able to speak about a sector for the next 5 minutes if I get anybody to volunteer over here so that you keep me interested about that sector? It could be anything. Pharma, aviation, consumer FMCG, tech, it could be any of the sectors. If I tell you all, pick a stock and talk about it for 10 minutes, will you be able to? Believe me, you will not be able to. That is why the second module exists. It is being taught by industry practitioners, not by Sanjay Saraf Sir, who is an academician, who is an expert at teaching certification courses. But this is being taught by people who eat, breathe, and live finance every day. We have people from Rakesh Jhunjhunwala ji's family office. We have people from Ambit Capital. We have people from JP Morgan. We have people from McKinsey. Come and teach you this course so that you can complement this skill set along with the certification that you do. The third module is the AI in finance, which is the game changer. Gone are those days where you're going to listen to earnings call or quarterly reports of companies, take 1 week to analyze and share insights with your manager. Believe me, somebody who is working at the same position as you will impress your manager by using AI to do this in 1 hour that you will take 10 days to do. That is what we are going to teach you in AI and finance. And the last module, which is career development, which is what is it that you need to go inside the interview and communicate the in-depth knowledge that you have achieved through certification programs, is going to be taught by industry practitioners. One of the industry practitioners, by the way, it's me. So I'm going to see you guys again at Analyst Stack if you choose to do the program and fast track yourself by 9 years. You don't take 10 years to build that soft skills, those career modules, your LinkedIn, your resume, but we will make you do it in 5 months. So I'm hoping to see you guys at the Analyst Stack program. Now, moving on from the Analyst Stack program, a lot of you must be thinking today that, okay, fine, Vidyut has spoken about doing a certification program along with a practical finance program, something like the Analyst Stack. I am in. I want to do it, but where do I start? Especially parents, where does your child start? For that, we have something called Prudentia. Prudentia is a crash course of sorts, especially for class 12 pass outs who are currently spending their time chilling between their class school got over and the college starting date. This is how you are actually going to differentiate yourself from day one in college. You will be sitting for interviews in societies, clubs. You have to be a part of extracurricular activities while you study. How will you crack those interviews? How will you show that you are adept at using AI? Most of the people around you studying BCom, BBA, BMS will not know this. That is where Prudentia comes in. Treat it like a launch pad. It will give you a flavor of what practical finance is. Ultimately, Analyst Stack is going to build you, but Prudentia, a crash course, is going to give you a flavor of what a combination of a certificate program and a practical finance program is. Believe me, do this so that when you start doing Analyst Stack, you don't feel slightly lost also. Analyst Stack is a 5-month program. This is going to get completed if you start today before you start your college. Prudentia is a launch pad. In no ways should I be held accountable later saying that, sir, Prudentia was a substitute to Analyst Stack. No, it is a flavor to what practical finance is. To all the parents, believe me, enroll your student in one of the practical finance courses with us along with a certification program, no matter where they do it from. Try to change their life in 1 year instead of making them run from pillar to pole for the next 10 years. Now, I can also understand that a lot of people in our audience, whether they are in person or online, will say that, sir, these courses are so expensive. We can only afford one at a time. And that also we are somehow managing money and affording. I hear you. We have all been in that place, and most of us come from the humblest of backgrounds possible, which is why at SSEI, we are doing a scholarship on the 26th of April, which is the next Sunday, for which we have announced a prize pool of rupees 10 lakhs. There will be 3 winners. The first winner will get 5 lakhs, the second will get 3 lakhs, and the third will get 2 lakhs. This does not only cover your coaching fees from the institute, but also the fees that you will pay to the exam institute so that your finance is covered. But since this is a merit-based scholarship, only 3 people are going to win. Does that mean the remaining people will forget their finance career aspirations and dreams? No. It is going to take us some time. It is going to be slightly more difficult than others, but we will do it. For that, we also have financing options at SSEI. Think of it like an EMI. We don't have money to pay today. We will pay it over a period of time. These are the options that we have brought in. By the way, the interest is paid a lot of times by SSEI to enable the student, because Sir believes in the philosophy very, very strongly that no student should not achieve their dream because money stood in the way. We want all of you to achieve your dreams, make it big, and see how you can differentiate yourself. Now, before I close, before I leave the stage and we enter into the Q&A, I want to leave you all with one thing. 2 years from now, 3 years from now, maybe 5 years from now, all of you will be in a room. It could be an interview room. It could be a negotiation. It could be a board presentation. It could be anything, right? And at that time, at that moment, Your class 12 marks are not going to matter to anyone. Your school name will not matter. Your college name will not matter. Nobody is going to even care about it. The one thing that people are going to care about in that room, in that moment is, can this person add value to us right here and right now? Believe me, my certification friend can. My hybrid friend who took a mix of certification and skills can. I can, who bet only on skills. But we all can do it eventually. We have taken 10 years to be here. For you, you don't have to wait for 10 years. The Analyst stack program that I told you about exists, which we didn't have the privileged access to. Prudentia exists. The certifications that Sir spoke about exists. Don't miss this opportunity. To all the parents, relatives, friends of existing students who are here, believe me, 5 years down the line, your child's life is going to flash before your eyes. It is genuinely on you to make sure that it is worth watching. Thank you.
I am back. Yes, and if I am audible to the online audience, can you please give me a thumbs up again? Great. Before we move on to the Q&A section, I saw a lot of messages in the chat. I was going through that sir आपने बता दिया CFA करना चाहिए, FRM करना चाहिए. These are the options available. However, how do I understand मेरे लिए क्या बना है? What are the requirements that I have? What are the liabilities that I have? And उसके हिसाब से what program is perfectly suited for me? I saw that message and it ring the bell that we have something tailored exactly for that, and we'll be using that after the Q&A is done. So we move to the Q&A. The format for the Q&A is, for the offline people, I asked 3 people who have their questions to come up on stage and ask a question. And for online, I've noted down the top questions with me. So with a raise of hands, is there anyone in the offline crowd who would like to ask a question directly to Sir? Or to Vidyut. Yes, I see the raise of hand. Yes, please come up stage.
Okay.
Yes, you can continue.
Okay. First of all, very good afternoon, sir. My name is Sanjana Jha. I'm from Sri Shikshayan College. And my question to you would be, I am very much sure about doing CFA. And along with that, I also want to pursue FRM. So the combination of these two courses, how it goes, and exactly how the internship or the work period which is given specifically for CFA, how and since when we start doing that. Yeah, thank you.
Check the online whether the audio is going on the online. Okay. So her doubt was very precise and deep. Number one, she talked about CFA plus FRM being done together. Usually, people do both the courses together, but they do it in a sequence, as in you complete CFA level 1, and then you start FRM along with your CFA level 2. You complete CFA level 1, start FRM along with your CFA level 2. Okay, so that is how you space it out. The second thing was regarding how do we fulfill the WorkX requirement of these programs. Usually, depending upon if your graduation is over, you will be able to get a job immediately after CFA level 2. Okay, there is a lot of demand after CFA level 2 and you get a job. After CFA level 1, you definitely get an internship. You start with internship, but internship is not counted as a WorkX. But if you do a job, it's counted as a work ex. Let me explain that if suppose somebody completes the CFA program, then he or she joins as a fresher in the industry. They're accepted in the industry, but they have to wait for 3 years to receive the charter. So receiving the charter means you have the work ex. That times your growth, your acceptance, and your salary, your job, everything goes up. So you can complete the program, then start at the work ex, or you can start the work ex along with your program. Ideal is to start the job along with your program, which means after level 1, level 2. Is it possible, sir, to manage all this on the plate? That means CFA, then FRM, then job. The answer is yes, with an advice. Advisors go slow. Do not rush into examinations. Okay? Study for 2-3 months, feel the subject. When you are confident, then register for the exam. So that counseling is done by us. We have mock tests every week. Okay? Where we assess your performance, then we advise you when to appear for the exam. And I just forgot to mention, हमारे यहाँ पे फॉर एवरी क्लास देयर इज एन ऑडियो समरी. अगर 2 घंटे की क्लास होती है तो मैं 5 मिनट का उसका समरी बना के ऑडियो के फॉर्म में शेयर करता हूँ. So when people come for the next class, they listen to the audio summary and they come to the next class. We have mock tests every week. After all the tests are complete, we have combined mock tests. So every time assessment takes place. The only thing that I really worry about is people hear from somewhere that CFA can be given in 3 months, 6 months, and they pre-register for the examination. That should not be done. You should register only when you are prepared. So start your preparation with us, study for 2-3 months, then register with the institute. Registration with the institute पहले नहीं होगा. पहले preparation होगा, फिर registration. Okay? Even the CFA Institute runs scholarship. We help you fill up the scholarship form so that your probability of winning the scholarship goes up. Okay? So after level 1, start FRM, start WorkX after level 1 or level 2, and go slow. Take the mock test, assess your performance, then take the exam. Okay? Oh, the gentleman would like to ask from there. ये ले जाओ.
Who is it?
So there is a parent who is asking a question, and that's very good. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Sunil Tantia. My daughter, she's just about given her higher secondary examinations, and she'll be after results, she'll be joining a college. And suppose that she starts pursuing the CFA. She enrolls for the CFA program, and based on what you said, the spacing of the programs, she enrolls for the CFA. She appears for the level 1. But she won't be able to, even if she clears the CFA level 1, let's say in 2027, she won't be eligible to get a job because she's not a graduate as yet. Would she be eligible to get a job after 2027 for level 1 examinations?
She would be, but a full-time job, depending upon which college she joins. If it's a day college, how do you get that job? So she would be having the requisite skills to start a job or an internship after level 1. So I think internship would suit best after level 1. After level 2, graduation, 3 years is over, then she can start a job.
Okay, so we basically need to take a 3-year kind of a scenario for this entire thing, because she'll be pursuing her college, CFA, and post level 1, she'll be supposedly she joins FRM as well. So all 3 programs would be running parallel, and she'll be eligible to get a job once she qualifies her graduation.
Yeah, once she finishes her graduation, level 2 is over, she will be able to get a job.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
And believe me, CFA plus FRM have a lot of commonality such that they don't become heavy. It's possible to manage. The only risk is if somebody without consulting us fills up the form, then it becomes a stressy. So we advise people again and again not to fill up the form. Prepare for the exam for 2 months, give some mock test, then talk to us and we will advise you when to take the exam. Okay. One more question we were wishing from the crowd. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Hello, sir. Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I hope
How
it's
are you?
well. I'm good, sir. Just wanted to ask, my daughter just finished her class 12, and whether she really has the aptitude for finance, whether she's that I am still not very. So whether she do you have something where she can be assessed?
Your question more than what you wanted to say.
Thank
Uh,
you, sir.
Daughters in our families are usually not exposed directly to business, and therefore we tend to feel that when it comes to business, maybe they would not be able to pick it up. Okay, ऐसा अपने को लगता है. I think give her a zero base. As in, आप ये मत सोचिए वो माइनस पे खड़े हैं, वो जीरो पे खड़े हैं, उनको मार्केट्स का कुछ नहीं आता है, उनको इकोनॉमी का कुछ नहीं आता है. बिलीव मी, हम वहीं से सिखाते हैं, कुछ भी एज्यूम नहीं करते. ठीक है. और खासकर फीमेल्स को इतना अच्छा लगता है वो सिखाने का तरीका, बिकॉज दे रियली लव दैट थिंग दैट वो लोग एक शेल में थे, दे डिड नॉट गेट द ओपननेस. द पॉइंट इज दैट फ्यूचर कैसा होगा ये किसी को नहीं पता है. शी मे हैव द बेस्ट ऑफ फ्यूचर, द बेस्ट ऑफ लाइफ यू डिजायर, बट वी शुड ऑल्सो प्रिपेयर हर फॉर द वर्स्ट. ठीक है. शी शुड बी एबल टू स्टैंड ऑन हर ओन लेग्स, शी शुड बी इंडिपेंडेंट, and you should find a transformation in her personality after 6 to 8 months where you come to me and say that sir आपने ठीक बोला था उस दिन कि देखिए आजकल जो मैं बात करता हूँ she is able to talk about this about that, okay, जो कि क्लास 12 के लेवल पे था नहीं. तो ऐसा 100% होगा. अपने को समय देना पड़ेगा. वो जो समय देने की बात है ना, वो वापस वापस बोलते जा रहा हूँ दैट हम ये गाइड करते हैं कि भाई तुरंत जंप करके एग्जाम नहीं देने, आराम से टाइम बिताओ इसके अंदर. इट्स अ वंडरफुल प्रोग्राम, सी ऑफ नॉलेज है, और नॉलेज इस तरह डिजाइंड है कि उसका जो प्रैक्टिकलिटी है वो भी उसके अंदर कवर्ड है. ठीक है. हैव फेथ इन हर एंड शी विल डू वंडर्स. वो तो फेस से आपके साथ बैठी है ना, आई कैन सी 100% सिंसियरिटी ऑन हर फेस. उसके ऊपर कुछ नहीं चाहिए. थैंक्स फॉर आस्किंग द क्वेश्चन.
Thank you.
ओके.
There is one more question.
My daughter, by the way, she she cleared class 12 last year, and she least interested in finance. Now when we have launched this Prudentia, so yesterday, Poonam, my wife was telling me that वो भी Prudentia join करेगी. मैं बोला हमको इतना इज्जत अपने घर से मिल रहा है. So she is doing physics, at Cornell. उसको अपने physics में interest है, तो वो अपने फील्ड में चली गई है. She understands all those, wave theory, studying and telling me that पापा क्या फाइनेंस में हम लोग तो waves पढ़ रहे हैं. Yes, please.
So my name is Kanika. My question is, if I'm doing CFA and FRM parallel, does it not narrow down my options?
Doing it parallelly narrows down your options. Could you elaborate?
Like once I'm done with both of them, I am eligible to get a job. So while I'm applying for a job, does it not narrow down my options? Like if as a CFA, I have 6 options open, and if FRM as my option, like FRM as my degree as well, does it not narrow it down to 4 or 3?
It increases your exposure. क्या होता है कि CFA में there is specialization in investment management. FRM का full form है Financial Risk Management. तो it opens the areas in those aspects of finance जहाँ पे CFA ने touch किए. वो रिस्क मैनेजमेंट में उतना डिटेल में नहीं गया. जैसे बैंक्स में कैसे रिस्क मैनेज होते हैं, CFA doesn't go detail into it. FRM goes into it. I have seen people जिनका CFA FRM दोनों करने के कारण कुछ ऐसी जगह से ओपनिंग्स आ जाती है, जॉब ओपनिंग्स, जो केवल CFA की वजह से नहीं आती. ठीक है. क्रिसिल से, इकरा से, ठीक है, रेटिंग एजेंसी से, इंश्योरेंस कंपनी से, बैंक से. ठीक है. तो इट एक्चुअली इंक्रीजेस योर ऑप्शंस. फॉर दैट मैटर कोई स्टूडेंट अगर बोलेगा मैं CA + CFA करता हूं, तो ऑब्वियसली उसका एक्सपोजर बढ़ जाता है. उसको रेगुलेटरी फाइनेंस भी आता है और उसको इन्वेस्टमेंट मैनेजमेंट भी आता है. ठीक है. बट हैविंग सेड दैट, as an organization, we are never advising people to do hordes of courses. ठीक है. मेरे स्टेज पे अगर आप मेरा क्वालिफिकेशन देखेंगे, बहुत सारे क्वालिफिकेशंस मैंने किए हुए हैं, पर उसका रीजन एक दो था, उसमें से मेन रीजन क्या था ना कि when I was teaching, I wanted that I should be confident in all the fields. तो finance में भी छोटे छोटे fields थे, investment banking, portfolio management, wealth management. मैंने हर field में अलग से specialize किया, ठीक है? But that is not the recommendation for everyone. So do not think about multiple courses का stack build up करना, एक या दो courses solid कर लें and skills को संभाल लें, जैसे analyst type का विद्युत बोल रहे हो, ठीक है? Thank you. And by the way, Vidyut, you gave your partial introduction. You did not talk about your separate EV venture that you do, the buses wala part. Now, he is a fractional CEO. हमारे यहाँ 4 hours, 6 hours, you know, I'm pulling his leg. The other is his own business running. So he's still a startup guy. Yeah, can we? To the online questions. You will ask the questions.
Yeah, I'll ask the questions. You've given unfair advantage to the offline people, sir. We were supposed to ask three questions. Now the online people will be pulling my leg. So, sir, there is someone called as Madhav Kandelwal, and he wanted to ask you, can I successfully move into finance from a non-finance, non-traditional background, such as science, economics, BBA, actuary studies? Can I do all of that? And I have given multiple CA attempts as well. So with work experience, without work experience, can I move into finance?
If Madhav, you said, no? So Madhav, if you have given multiple CA attempts, first of all, I do not understand why would you call yourself from a non-finance background? Okay. If you have appeared for CA, you are obviously from a finance background. But generically speaking, let's understand that most of the engineering students, once they go ahead in their life, they realize that money that they want to make is not there in engineering, it is there in finance. And you will find that these guys then come to the field of finance. सबने बचपन में किया होगा the geometric Brownian motion. Okay, but I am not also a science student. जो particles जो move in a zigzag manner. The same thing was picked up in finance that जो stock prices है ना, they move in a zigzag random manner. So everything of physics came into finance, and therefore these physics guys, these engineering guys come to the field of finance and they go much ahead of us. And I really feel that it shouldn't happen. We, the finance guys, got to own this area. This is our arena. Okay? So I feel that Madhav, you need not be skeptical. As far as your multiple attempts of CA is concerned, मल्टीपल अटेम्प्ट्स और सिंगल अटेम्प्ट के बारे में मेरे को एक सिंगल चीज लगता है, एक बार आपको जो भी लगता है ना कि आपने सीए में जहां लूप होल्स है, आपको जो पढ़ना था आप ठीक से नहीं पढ़े वगैरह, बढ़िया से पढ़ के एक बार दो. अगर वो नहीं होता है तो उस केस में उसको टाटा बाय बाय कर दो, because otherwise years and years will pass and you will really be very sad in regards how you have wasted your life, your energy, your confidence. Okay, so that's it from my side.
Such as fees, exam difficulty, failure risk, visa expectation, required maths or accounts knowledge, and whether short for certification should be done first.
100%. I said right at the beginning that one size fits all cannot work. What are the criteria that we think before joining a program? Number one, क्या वो प्रोग्राम से सॉलिड फ्यूचर बनेगा क्या? आई थिंक ये चीज तो एकदम डन है. इसके बिना तो आप कोई प्रोग्राम चुनोगे ही नहीं. नंबर टू, वो प्रोग्राम कितना टफ है, क्या वो मैं कंप्लीट कर पाऊंगा? इसका मतलब उसमें मैथ्स है क्या, उसमें मगअप करना पड़ेगा क्या, उसमें कितने आवर्स का स्टडी चाहिएगा पर डे, दैट प्रोग्राम में पास परसेंटेज क्या होता है हिस्टोरिकली, ठीक है? सो दीज आर द फैक्टर्स दैट शुड बी देयर, एंड देयरफॉर व्हाट काव्या इज गोइंग टू रिवील आफ्टर दिस is that we have just made a simple application जहाँ पे आप अपना characteristics feed कर सकते हो. कि suppose you are saying that I want a program which can be done in 3 years. I want a program जिसमें maths नहीं है. I want a program जिसमें daily 3 hours 4 hours study करने से काम चल जाएगा. I want a program जिसका जिसमें पास परसेंटेज 30% से ज़्यादा है. तो whatever it is, if you feed the stuff, it will give you an advice regarding कौन से प्रोग्राम आपको सूट करते हैं. तो your question is 100% right कि आपको एनालिटिकली जज करके कोर्सेज ज्वाइन करने चाहिए जो आपके स्ट्रेंथ को सूट करते हैं. I remember last year when my daughter was leaving for US. So there's a friend of hers, and she is doing commerce. She was joining Xavier's, and she was discussing with me कि sir, मने uncle मैं कौन सा course करूँ? So in that case, when I was discussing, she made a statement. She said, "I love mug-up." मेरे को मगअप पसंद है, मतलब मेरे को एकदम मजा आ जाता है रटने में, उतारने में। आई सेड बेटा तुम कोई हालत में सीएफए वगैरह मत करना, तुम सीए ही करो। ओके, सो इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन किस टाइप का है। व्हाई शुड बी क्वेश्चन वंस मेकअप एंड ऑल दैट। ठीक है, यू लाइक अ लॉट ऑफ मैथ्स। अब सम पीपल टॉक अबाउट एक्चुअरियल साइंस फॉर एग्जाम्पल। एक्चुअरियल साइंस इज सो मच इनग्रॉस्ड इन मैथ्स कि उसमें I would not allow somebody who scored 99 out of 100 to go for actuarial science. It's only for those who got 100 out of 100. And it's dipped in maths, in and out. Okay? So that way you have to decide upon the program based on your skills, based on your appetite, based on how many hours you have to study, and so on and so forth. It was a very relevant question. Yeah.
So few things to the audience, especially those who joined online. While the session was going on and Sir was delivering his keynote and guiding all of you, I had promised everybody on the online forum that we are not going to end the session till all of their queries or doubts are resolved. So Kavya or the team, you all can put in a message if anybody still has a burning question that they feel is going to help them leave this session in a more confident manner. We are here to address it. Meanwhile, the QR code that was shown on screen right now, I request all of you to scan it, feed in the responses to the questions being asked. What is it that you want to do? How many hours you want to study? What is your strength? What is something that you don't like doing? And the calculator is going to recommend you a relevant course based on what you tell it that, for example, like Sir said, I like studying 10 hours a day, or I want something like a crash course that can be completed in 1 month. So it will tell you which course you should go for. Lastly, to the entire online audience and in person, I think SSEI, and believe me, this is not boasting about it, but you will see the value in what I'm saying. SSEI is the only institute in which on Sunday, our special counseling team is present here, so that if there is something that you could not discuss at this forum directly, or you may have questions, which is very fair, you may have a lot of questions even before putting in 100 rupees of your hard-earned money. They are all seated over here to guide you relentlessly. Even if you want to sit till 6 p.m. and ask them questions, they are here. And for those who have joined online, I think our team may have repeatedly shared the helpline number of SSEI on the chat. If you have spent time on Sunday, 2 to 3 hours, showing seriousness about your career, you take it, you don't take it, it doesn't matter to us. What matters is make that phone call, try to understand, try to get guidance, and you, believe me, you will 100% get the required guidance. Thereafter, we leave it to your wise judgment and the judgment of your parents. But do make that call. Do speak to counselors, because they are the ones who are going to answer your call even 10 times in a day, and they will never say कि sir बार बार मेरे को phone मत करिए. They will in fact say please मेरे को एक बार और phone करिए अगर आपको कुछ भी question होगा तो. So make the use of this opportunity. Don't let it go. Not a lot of people offer it, and we don't want you to be in a place 2 साल बाद की, जैसे मैं 10 साल बाद ये बोल रहा हूँ कि अगर कोई मेरा ये आंसर दे दिया होता तो शायद मैं बहुत कुछ 1 साल में कर लेता. So it's upon you guys now. The number is shared. The QR codes are here. The team is seated here. Chew up their brains. There is no problem.
Thank you, Vidya. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. This was an amazing session. Thank you to the entire SSEI team who was here on a Sunday. I know it's very difficult, but thank you for making it. And in fact, the biggest thank you to everyone who came up, who showed up on a Sunday, offline or online. You've already made the first move. The second one can be yours now. Contact us and we would leave that decision to you. Thank you so much, everyone.